Conor, it's been a frustrating week, I imagine, in a lot of different ways. Have you had any further feedback around the circumstances around the Stevenage postponement?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a frustrating one, of course. Look, obviously you start the week with Bolton, and then obviously you turn up to Stevenage and you get ready to bounce back, and you want to put in a performance and put things right as quick as possible. Obviously, then you're waiting for the AFC Wimbledon game now. So look, we want to end the week strongly in the right way before heading obviously onto Peterborough. But in terms of any more major info on it, it's as simple as it was off, really frustrating, and we're probably in the process now to try and rearrange it. So yeah, a frustrating 4 or 5 days really from Bolton and then heading on to Stevenage.
And it just compounds things, doesn't it, with your fixture schedule and what that already looked like. It was the last thing you could have done with.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest frustrating out of it all, really. We know we were in an intense period. And look, we've got 3 games now coming up this week. Wimbledon, Peterborough, and then obviously on to Huddersfield. Then we've obviously got a free week again. So in terms of the next couple of weeks now, it just kind of feels like your kind of normal EFL week. But obviously then after that, then it's pretty much full on again. Then obviously we head into the international break, and potentially our international break will be called off. And then after that, we're going to be full on again till the very end. So we're very short of weeks now. We don't pretty much have anything left in terms of free space now that this game is going to be called off. The Stevenage one, obviously rescheduling that. And if Northampton gets called off over the course of the international break, then I think we're pretty much done as far as midweek slots. So it's going to be a difficult one.
I think this week, though, giving you maybe a little bit of extra time to work on the defensive stuff that we talked about earlier in the week. You've laid down a challenge. You've had some various conversations with people. Has it given your players a bit of extra time to get their head around what you want over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think we were obviously turned up to Stevenage, called off. Then you've got Wednesday off, and now we've come back in today, and we've kind of worked and did what we did. So yeah, look, and obviously tomorrow we're into match day -1, so you're trying to cram in as much as you can. But look, there's been a lot of conversations around that from Bolton heading into Stevenage, and even moving forward, even more so again. So yeah, look, whether it's been work on the grass or meetings, there's been a lot of words on it. So like the message isn't any different. We're hoping to see an improvement now over the next few games.
And from your perspective, is it as much about mentality as kind of tactics or the technical aspects about it? I got that vibe from the way you were talking about it ahead of the Stevenage game.
Yeah, I do think that. Yeah, I do think it's mentality now, self-pride. The real want to keep the ball out of the back of the net. If anyone makes a mistake or isn't up to what I see fit, then maybe that individual not playing or someone in the team calling that person out. It's getting to that stage now where we need to start getting a better improvement on it and a better return on it. So look, only time will tell on it over the next kind of 4 or 5 games.
There's been some reports this week, Conor, linking you with the Wigan job. Have you seen that? Is there anything in that? Is that something that you've been made aware of?
Yeah, look, it's hard to not see it, I suppose, social media nowadays and people talking, whatever, and I saw it, but to my knowledge, there's not much in it, to be honest with you. It's just a name on a short list. Who knows if it's true? Who knows if it's right? But look, I know I've got a job on hand here for the foreseeable. Very committed to it, and yeah, it's not to my knowledge any truth in it really.
Is it flattering to be linked with other jobs?
I suppose when you're so early in your career, it shows that maybe 1 or 2 people are watching on and respecting what we're trying to do. We're a very attacking output, and we try and develop young players and play decent football. So I suppose for 1 or 2 to noticing that is something that's always nice. And who doesn't like praise in terms of any walk of life, whether it's your job, whether it's day-to-day work, whether you're involved in football or just a normal job in general. It's always nice to know people are enjoying watching and seeing what you're doing. So yeah, it's nice to see that in terms of for my own early head coaching career, that people are watching what we're doing.
So there's a few players, and looking at your kind of left backs, Georgie Jones, Nathaniel Ogbetter, where are they at and how close are they to being kind of more involved on a regular basis?
Yeah, they're just in the mix as anyone else, really, Ox, to be honest. I think Georgie's played a couple under-21s game now, and he played again the other day against Fleetwood while we travelled to Stevenage, and done very well, which is good. Charlie Lennon played it as well, and obviously Nat is involved just as much as anyone at the minute. So, there's certain players in the team that you want to try and fit in because head coaches like certain players and whatnot, and other people have got a fight to get themselves in the team. And when they do get in the team, make the most of the opportunity, making the most of opportunities every single day in training and how they conduct themselves and how they work. So Nate, Georgie, everyone else, they're just in the same boat. They're banging the mix, and they need to make sure that they've got they're sticking their hand up every single time they get on the pitch, or every time they get on the training ground.
So ideally, would you like to get one of those in on a more regular basis to give it that natural kind of balance on the left side?
Yeah, if they prove to be the right ones at the right time. I think Tenai's been doing it a little bit at the minute. I think Tenai is a player for me that's really reliable, really consistent, and we try and fit him in my opinion, I like to try and fit him into the team in some way, shape or form, because he's been consistently really good, really calm, really reliable, and I like the way he plays. He can fit into a couple of positions and into a couple of areas, and with how good Corey's done since coming back to the club as well, and the energy that he brings, I like having Corey in the team as well right now. But look, that can quickly change because Tenai and Corey need to keep playing well. On top of the rotations that we speak about all the time when team sheets come out, someone that played a lot of minutes mightn't play the next game just because of busy scheduling. So there'll be rotations and different selections, and it's up to that individual then to make the most of the minutes so they get more then moving forward.
You mentioned Charlie Lennon. How close is he to a first team debut?
Yeah, Charlie's done. Obviously come in at January, and he's getting up to speed. He's played a couple of under-21 games now, and I have liked what I've saw in them 21s games. To be really fair to him, and he's knuckled down and he's trained well, and we're hoping to get him involved maybe a little bit now moving forward in terms of squads, and can you get him on the pitch at the right time? So I do think he's getting that little bit of sharpness and that little bit of up to match. Equivalent of League One. It's a big jump from the National League. It took Reyes a little bit of time. So yeah, look, it takes that little bit of time, but he's definitely improving week on week, and especially in them 21s games that he's been playing.
Have you got any other kind of new or fresh fitness issues, or will it be similar squad to what you took to Stevenage? Yeah,
it would be not far off, pretty much the same, to be honest with you. Obviously not having a game on Tuesday means that we're all pretty much the same scenario. So, we're probably looking very, very similar.
I imagine now back-to-back home games, you're hoping to build on what's been a positive run at home with 7 points from the last 9 available.
Exactly that, yeah. We got 2 home games now coming up. We really want to hit them head on with lots of energy and lots of attacking football and lots of excitement in and around the ground, and that's our main focus now.
Some thoughts on AFC Wimbledon. You're only a point off them in the league table. Johnny Jackson seems to have done a really good job of establishing them as a League One side now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's done really, really well. Obviously, continued what they did last year in terms of getting promoted, and then obviously, look, they beat us at their place earlier on in the season. They were still on that high, obviously, from getting promoted, probably because it was a very early game in the season. But look, they've done terrifically well. Probably they're coming into this game in a little bit of a decent form because they've won the last couple of games in the league, and obviously they had the Northampton game during the week in the Virtue Trophy. But they picked up a couple of decent results against Port Vale and Reading at home. So they're in a decent place, and one that we need to be ready for.
Good luck, Conor.
Thanks. Cheers.
How's Tawanda doing? Could he be involved in either of the 2 home games this week, or be a bit later?
Yeah, probably be a little bit later, Doug, to be honest. Yeah. He definitely won't be involved for the Wimbledon game. Probably Peterborough game's that little bit too close for him, so he's probably looking at another kind of 7 to 10 days. Will he make the back end the next week? Huddersfield, touch and go probably, but we definitely hope to have him involved. If not that game, then obviously heading into Leyton Orient, because there's a free week after that.
With the stuff that you touched on about these Wigan rumours, I mean, I guess you dealt with similar as a player, didn't you? Will he leave? Will he go? Is it just the same as that? Not a distraction, but has it maybe come a bit quicker than possibly expected, given you're sort of obviously in the midst of quite a big turnaround job at Barnsley?
Yeah, look, I think I'm very used to different scenarios in press now, whether it's moves for me over the course of my career or dealing with my own players getting linked with roles or new moves or whatever. So, I'm well established in from that point of view, and it's just take care of business that's in front of me, to be honest with you. Like you said, early in my head coach career, so to have your name involved in it is new in terms of that. But it's nice to see it, I suppose, because it means that people are liking what we're doing, but very focused on the job at hand that I'm doing here.
And just to confirm, no actual approach to you or the club as far as anything you
No, just a name linked.
Yeah.
I think it was some sort of shortlist or something like that, and whoever's put it together knows a little bit more info than me. But it's nice to have your name out there, because, like you said, if you're linked with something in the right way, then obviously it means you're doing something right.
In terms of defensive changes, obviously you spoke about that earlier in the week. Have there been some difficult conversations with players, or sort of, real honest conversations with players about sort of, I need more from you and you and you?
Yeah, exactly that. Real honest conversations, not difficult ones, because the lads needed to know that and they need to realise that. And we need to see improvement now. There's no hiding away from it. There's no getting away from it. There was going to be a big emphasis on that at Stevenage. Obviously, wasn't to be. And there's going to be a big emphasis now on it heading into Wimbledon. Let's see how the next kind of 4 or 5 games go. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to, it doesn't mean that we're going to get 5 clean sheets in a row. That's what we're all aiming for, but it might take a couple of games for it to really click in. But we're making a big point of it now over the next kind of 5 or 6 games to see a big improvement on it.